Hello and welcome to this instalment of Talkin Trim. I'm Jonathon Skinner and today we are looking at some fully trimmed XK racing bucket seats. So very much as it says on the tin, they are the bucket style seats that were used originally by the Jaguar XKs for the racing versions of the XKs. The majority of XKs left with the bench style seat, as we refer to it, which if I just show you in a book here, all the different XKs, the 120s, the 140s, the 150s, they all had this sort of bench style seat. They did differ between all of those different versions, but overall the look was the same. You can see there it kind of forms a bench from left to right when it's all in place, if you also consider the center console section there. So these are all bench style standard seats, as it were. So that was what was fitted to the majority of the XKs. These were fitted to the competition racing XKs. However, obviously you can switch them, they are interchangeable. And this is what we're finding people doing more and more. We do quite a few of these days. And the reason being that these offer a bit more lateral support, as you can see here, because it's effectively a bucket curved around you. You get really nice left and right lateral support, which means that as you go around a corner, it gives you a bit more support in that area there, as opposed to the bench style seats, which arguably you could end up on the other side of the car. So yeah, we're doing more and more of these, and this is a lovely example. I have done other videos showing these exact same bucket seats fully trimmed up, but this is a lovely example as it's a two-tone kit. So it's obviously biscuit for the pleated panels and red for everywhere else. The red that we have used is our bright red, and all of the leather elements are our smooth finish leather. We can offer grained in most colours as well. So really nice finish, as you can see. And then as standard on the backs, you've got this moquette material, moquette being a very high quality wool based material. It's a very short pile with no backing on it, and it's what Jaguar used as standard during this era for all of the backs of the seats of the Jaguar XKs, and that followed on again into some of the early E-types as well as the Jaguar Mark II. And they often use it as well for the sort of wheel arch areas of the car, etc. So that's been done in red moquette, with the other bits being bright red and biscuit light tan. They're effectively leather seats, obviously, because everything else is leather on there, apart from the backs. The piping is leather cloth, as original for this era of manufacture. We always standardly do our piping in leather cloth unless a colour isn't available, but the majority of our colours are, so that's not normally an issue. The element of the trimming, obviously we offer them fully trimmed up like this, ready to fit into the car, but effectively you've got the cushion base there, which comprises of obviously the framework, some woodwork, some foam, and then the cover itself trimmed on. And then you have the backrest frame, which then has foam padding and then the cover on itself. The base frame here is trimmed round up until halfway here. Obviously the rest of it is covered up by the moquette backrest section as it tilts down. It is effectively in two pieces. We do this tab on the front here so you can pull them out there. So that's the framework there. It's obviously the tilt style. They did also offer fixed style. Fixed style bucket seats are very hard to get hold of these days, and ultimately not a great deal of point in actually having a fixed one, because it only makes life harder to get into the back of the car from both sides. So we'd always recommend using the tilt style, but these are the tilt style, which we do the majority of. And this is the element of how it's all fixed in and trimmed. So the moquette gets trimmed around that bottom base layer there and stapled round, but ultimately is not seen because it's either hidden by the cushion base there or by the framework there as it's tucked in. It's worth noting as well, as a couple of people have raised questions when they've been constructing these at their end. Obviously we send them fairly unconstructed in terms of the framework to best maximize shipping, but you'll see that there's a slight element of the seat here. If I can just, yeah, you can see how it dips down there, and that's obviously to allow, so we've trimmed them to create that slope there, but obviously it's foam underneath there, so it does want to expand out where it can. So sometimes you might just have to press that into place there to get the framework. Look, you're getting a bit of resistance there, as you can see. I'll try and show you there. So sometimes, well, the weight of it should take it down, but if not, you just have to press that in there. It's not too much of an issue at all. Then with the base elements here, trimmed all the way around with the tab underneath there. Then to get these in place here, it's fairly straightforward. Most of the time you should be able to just jiggle it into place. But if you're struggling, just tilt that forward. And that's caught on the bottom. Tilt that forward there. Sorry, it's a bit hard to do it one-handed, but I've managed. And then you go. And then you've got a bit and left and right wiggle around that you can do. Again, if you move that backrest there, you're going to get a bit more left to right movement, but obviously you want to get the pleats all matching up between the cushions and the backrest. So just little things to keep an eye on when you're actually putting this in place, because there is a bit of movement in it there. It's worth noting as well, as people have asked before, about this gap here. That is intentional. That is two purposes. One, it allows for this to move up and down very easily without causing any friction between the covers. But two, obviously when you sit in this foam, it's going to expand out both ways. Obviously one hand's not really demonstrating it correctly, but effectively it will push itself out there. And again, that is for that reason there. So that is by design. That is the way they've been designed to be trimmed, etc. So just bear that in mind. But yeah, thought I'd do a quick video, mainly because they were two-tone. Obviously I have done other videos showing these, but the two-tone's a really nice colour scheme. Customer's going for a few other elements. The predominant colour is bright red in the trim kit, but he's going for the elements where you've got biscuit, pleated panels, etc. He's got a centre cushion armrest to match as well, which is the later 150 style armrest. These are actually going into a 140 Roadster, open two-seater. And then often you'd find with two-tone interiors, so you'd have the pleated panels in that contrasting colour. The same on the centre cushion armrest, the pleated panel will be the contrasting colour. And then you tended to get elements of the dash fascia were also in that contrasting colour, so just bear that in mind. Anyway, I thought I'd sort of just show you those, really nicely trimmed. Obviously, like I say, we offer these fully trimmed up and we're selling more and more of them. We're actually going to do a bit of research into what other cars they may be installable in, because I believe lots of people do like these for those cars that tend to go touring a bit more and you want a bit more lateral support. So keep in touch about that element of things. Anyway, hopefully that's been a nice informative video showcasing our work. Please do read the description below, as it gives lots of other information about us and these parts. As I've mentioned before in other videos, please do not assume that other suppliers work to this level of quality. That's simply not the case. We are renowned in this industry for our quality and workmanship, have been for almost half a century now. Hence why I've done this YouTube channel, to really kind of showcase our products, but don't assume that other people are offering anywhere near the same standard. Otherwise they might have a YouTube channel. So just bear that in mind. I don't want to yap about that too much, but certainly worth considering that element of things. But yeah, check out the description below. There's links to our website, which is always worth browsing around, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks for tuning in. Please remember to like and subscribe and share it with other classic car enthusiasts out there, and I'll see you next time.